the theme of this one, correct me if I'm wrong, is what happens if the creatures you created turn against you, like Frankenstein. So what do you do with them?
Yeah.
Is that sort of the theme you were?
You know, to me, it's about greed, and I think the first film is it's a movie about how if there's money on the table, there'll be somebody who will do the worst imaginable things, or in a lot of cases the dumbest imaginable thing, in order to get that money. And this film focuses a little bit more on our responsibility for these animals that we've made as a result of that greed, but also really just the darkest and the worst instincts of humans, again, when there's money involved.
Mm-hmm. At some point I imagine, soldiers riding T-Rexes, like the exploitation from the 60s
Right.
or maybe the 80s. So how far were you willing to go into that, possibilities, because you can do whatever you like now?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's important that we keep it at least grounded in a space where the dinosaurs are a parable for animals in the world today. And I think that this, ultimately, when people are able to watch this film and where this franchise is going, it really is about the ethical treatment of animals in the world and our responsibility to the living creatures that we share the planet with, alongside with our responsibility to the planet itself. And I think the riding of a T-Rex by a soldier is a level of fantasy that is I love it, and I would love to see it. I don't know if it's specifically this franchise, but yeah, it's super cool.
Okay. Do you have a trilogy plan?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a mirror from the Lost World, like in a King Kong sort of style?
Not really. It looks like it is because they all go to a fog-covered scary island with dinosaurs on it, but it goes to a very, very different place than anyone expects, and really the heart and the soul of the movie, the turn of the story is not what we've shown in this trailer. It's very much not like The Lost World.
Mm-hmm. Nowadays, Jurassic Park was written in the 90s, and then we have Westworld, which is written in the 70s, which is a mirror of Jurassic Park. So what do you think about Crichton, that has he's so weighed in nowadays science fiction world?
I think that he's the best. He's the best author and thinker about morality and technology, and the ethical implications of using certain technology. The idea that humans have this assumption that because we're the most dominant species on the planet, that we can have anything we want. If we want to see it, we're going to make it because we have that right. And I think that both Westworld and Jurassic Park toyed with that idea in a way that I don't think ever gets old. I think it's always prevalent.
Mm-hmm. When you pitch The Fallen Kingdom, you already had the trilogy in mind, or was developing, and you pitched afterwards?
No, I knew, I knew where I wanted it to go. I remember telling Steven, even while we were still making the first movie, this is the beginning, here's the middle, and here's the end of the end, and this is where we want to go. And I feel like that kind of design is crucial to a franchise like this if you really want to bring people along with you and make sure they stay interested. It needs to be thought through on that level. It can't be arbitrary, especially if we want to turn this into a character-based franchise with people who you lean in to follow what they're going to do. And at the end of this movie, it's really designed, it's not a cliffhanger, but it's designed for people to really want to know what's going to happen next. Whereas the earlier Jurassic Park movies had pretty clear, definitive endings. They were much more episodic. And so in working with Derek Connolly, my co-writer, as we designed this film, we were also thinking about where it was going to go in the future.
Mm-hmm. Now that you're on the opposite side, you're a producer now. What do you think is happening in Hollywood that a lot of directors' problems with kicking out from the movies, yourself and Marvel and but it happens like for the last 2 years. It's like a bubble of rejected directors. So what do you think is why now, or has it always been the case and now we are aware of that?
Well, it used to be that way all the time. I mean, there were 3 directors on Wizard of Oz. There were 2 directors on Gone with the Wind, and that was a time when studios essentially had all of the control, and directors were employees, and in the 60s and the 70s that changed. I think that because it's such big business, at this point. There's so much money involved, and they're very large corporations that rely on these films to deliver what they need them to deliver, and I think that we're seeing the result of that.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck with the
Thanks,
movie.
man, very much.